We welcome you to the Compass Ecosystem Podcast. This is our first podcast. The purpose of our Compass Ecosystem Podcast is to inform, engage, and connect with the Southern Arizona community in a dialogue regarding human development and the human development ecosystem. My name is Carolyn Gorst. I am the Director of Development for Compass Affordable Housing, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Lydia Aranda.
Good morning and nice to see everybody. Carolyn, I'm so excited for the podcast and the information that our community is going to learn from the sharings. Thank you so much.
You and me both. Our special guest today is Dr. Tony Sims, CEO of Compass Affordable Housing. Hi, Tony. Thanks for joining us.
Now, thank you guys for having us. I'm excited for this first podcast. I know you put a lot of work into this, so I'm excited to hear how it goes.
Well, we're all in this together today. So this first segment is brought to us by the Pima County Workforce Development Outside Agency Fund that is helping fund the emergency and grant for our Your Healthy Home market. So thank you to Pima County. Tony, to kick things off, we have a question we'd love for you to describe the agency and the issues, the target audience, and the services and outcomes of Compass Affordable Housing.
No, great question. I'm a year in now. So it'll be a year at the end of this month. And so when I first got here, my first objective was to try to get a feel for what problem was Compass trying to solve. And I think in my time here, what I've learned is that it's not simply about homelessness that Compass is concerned with, but it's more about human development, right? It's this ideal that we can be better as a society, we can be better as a community, we can be better as individuals when we help one another, right? Human development is about people helping people. And so Compass is keyed in on this idea that we support each other. And yes, we use housing as a tool to do that. But the bigger issue is, how do we do case management? How do we do community building? How do we do housing development and job creation? So those four components are really essential to what we're doing. So the target audience for us is not simply folks who are experiencing homelessness, but it's also folks who might be on the brink of homelessness. It's people who are couch surfing. It's people who are low income. They may be impoverished, but the reality of it is they're fighting with everything they got to get to the next step of their human developmental process. And so if people look at your background, they can see automatically physiological needs being met, safety, social, self-esteem, and self-actualization. That's what Compass is all about. And by the way, to my delight, this staff is one of the best staffs I've ever worked with. I just thoroughly enjoy working with the staff. And I'm not saying that as just a catch-all. I'm smarter every single day that I'm interacting with the staff, the contractors, the advisory council, the board members. And so I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. Lydia, anything that you wanted to add in?
Well, I just want to congratulate, first of all, Compass Affordable Housing on the Compass Human Development Podcast. And Tony, as you were describing the audiences, the services, the outcomes that you're seeking, that Compass is seeking with this, but as an agency, it really is apparent that all of the work that is embarked upon is definitely a team sport. Not one organization or agency can do this alone. And you are really bringing that to the forefront. Sounds like Compass Affordable Housing is a hub with lots of spokes.
That's well said. Well said. And we don't want to be the end all to be all. No agency, no one person can be. And so we have this one tool within our slide deck. Now, we won't talk about slide decks because I get too excited and they're really voluminous. However, we have this one slide deck that shows our apartment complexes and then multitudes of services that surround it. And they range from things like health services, mental health services, financial management, exercise, all these different services that get delivered to people because that's a need that they have. And they fit along that continuum also. And so we've got great partners like the city of Tucson, partners like the county, Pima County, partners who are in, the healthcare field and mental health field, partners who are financial partners. We have great partners who are helping deliver services to individuals and families in our community who really need them. And so it's a pleasure, and it is a responsibility that we have to bring partnerships together in order to meet the needs of our community. Our community is wide ranging and broad, and we've got a lot of services out there that can meet people's needs, but coordination and collaboration matter. And what role are we required and responsible for? We want to be a coordinator of services. We want to be a collaborative of services, or a collaborator of different agencies who deliver different services.
So well said, Tony. Uh, with the human development piece, I think we are all looking for that sweet spot to bring together the right people in the right place at the right time doing the right job. I know I just said that out of
That's okay. I love it.
we are going to hear from our first sponsor. Thank you to TEP, who is one of our major sponsors.
It's important that Tucson Electric Power partner with agencies like Compass Affordable Housing to ensure the members of our community have access to the resources that they need. We understand that we're operating in an affordability crisis, and this is not something that can be solved alone. Together, we can achieve so much more.
Welcome back. We are excited to continue the conversation with Dr. Tony Sims, CEO of Compass Affordable Housing, about the human development ecosystem. And this segment is brought to us by our partners over at Salad and Go Foundation, who are building healthier communities, partnering with organizations like Compass Affordable Housing to ensure access to food and wellness.
Carolyn, thank you so much, and thank you to Salad and Go Foundation for supporting in such tasty and informative ways, and making it convenient for families as well.
Yeah.
Tony, it is in our first segment, you spoke about target audiences and services, and now I think we would like to share with listeners and viewers about how Compass Affordable Housing, your agency, and people work to solve specific issues in Southern Arizona.
Mhm.
Could you speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, no, that's great. So let's talk about existing services first, right? So
Okay.
our existing services have been roughly twofold. One has been partnerships that we've had with the county around rapid rehousing, right? Where they have a mandate, they have grants that they want to help people get off the street, get into housing. We've worked with them to do that. Wonderful opportunity for us to work with the county and the staff over there in ways that further people's success. A second way that we've worked in our programs is through our tenant services, right? And so we own three apartment complexes: Alfred Court, Glenstone Village, Downtown Motor. And our staff are on site of each of those locations, and we deliver services directly to tenants through case management services, community building services, so forth and so on. The second partner that we have, other than our own campuses, is the city of Tucson. And we deliver services through tenant services to the city of Tucson also at the Tucson House. And so it's case management and it's house cleaning and education services. And so those have been our two main buckets in terms of rapid rehousing and tenant services. We are now moving into a new area that's transitional housing. We're so excited because at some point you'll get a chance to see this as you guys have your podcast. But transitional housing, for all intent and purposes, for us is an entry point. It's a point where people come out of shelter, or they may come directly to us, and they're placed in the transitional housing and they receive case management services to get them prepared for the next step, right? They've been being prepared through shelter, and now they get another chance to live more independently in transitional housing programmatically so that they can get ready to take the next step either into affordable housing, which is our apartment complexes, or into middle housing, which is another feature that we're launching in the future. So it's all about that human development process. Once again, we've met physiological needs, or their shelter has. They've met safety needs by having a roof over their head. And when they come with us, they're further improving their safety needs around jobs and case management and financial budgeting and so forth and so on. And then they get a chance to meet their social needs by working with our staff through events, through that one-on-one relationship building. And that turns into self-esteem building, right? We grow when we start seeing ourselves being successful. And that's what we are working towards. I was having a conversation this morning with one of our partners about theories of change, right? This idealism that people can change over time with the resources and supports that they have. And so that's where we are. Transitional housing coming up in the next 30 to 45 days of launching our sites, getting people in there and moving them along the continuum. So those are the services for us.
That's such a great descriptor there. I apologize for first jumping right in there,
That's
but
okay.
I want to highlight that that is such a great descriptor of how specific issues and offerings can come together and together are building momentum and
Yeah.
moving along a spectrum. And it sounds like the mobility and the
Mhm.
flexibility
Mhm.
to tailor that is what is also a bit unique on how Compass Affordable Housing approaches
Yeah.
human development ecosystem.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. I think for our guest, Tony, I'd love for you to go a little bit more about how Compass Affordable Housing is participating in Southern Arizona's human development ecosystem, especially sharing our definition of what we mean by a human development ecosystem.
So I think that's a great question when we start talking about the human development ecosystem. So think about it this way. There are really two components to the human development ecosystem, right? There is the human component, and then there is the infrastructure component, right? And so let's start with the human component. The human component, to some extent, involves two players. It involves other agencies that are delivering services along with ours, but it's also about their staff members. And it's about what they bring to the table from a service delivery perspective. Remember earlier, we were talking about the apartment complex with all those different services around it. That human development ecosystem really is about community partners and the services that we deliver and our donors and our sponsors and our volunteer, all of those, our interns. That's all about the human development ecosystem, right? Along with community partners, making sure that humans are helping other humans be successful. We do that in a coordinated way. Second side of this is the infrastructure piece, right? And what we call interconnected continuum of housing ecosystem, right? That's where we line up the process of moving people through housing, which starts at shelter, or it even may start on the streets where people coming directly off the streets into shelter or into transitional housing and moving them systemically from transitional housing to affordable housing to middle housing back to market rate housing. People, there are going to be people who want to buy a house and we want to help with that, right? We'll use our partners to do that. But there may be people who just want to rent a room and they can afford to do that. And that's our middle housing. Or there may be people who want an apartment complex within our larger apartment complexes because they can afford that. Or there may be folks just on the beginning forefront of their journey that's in transitional housing where they're having shared rooms, right? Two to a room, and they're growing. But it has to be affordable, right? You can't make the leap. Let me caveat this. A major percentage of folks can't make the leap from homelessness to market rate. It's a big leap from going and making zero in income to now having to pay $1,000, $1,200 in income of their income towards housing, which is well above 30% cost burden, right? And so those incremental steps of transitional housing, affordable housing, middle housing helps bridge the gap between no income and shelter all the way to market rate.
I think you bring up a really important part too, Tony, with that is that it's not just impacting people that are currently unhoused,
Mhm.
but it's anyone that is in that place where it's housing, they become housing burden to try and have 50%, 60% of their income
Mhm.
to afford to rent at market
Yes,
rate.
absolutely. Absolutely right. And that's the thing we have to really keep in mind is that children's clothes that they have to buy, got to put food on the table, got to have gas, water, all those utilities costs.
Yes.
I might need shoes at some point in time, right? These are all real costs. And if 70% of your income is being absorbed by your housing, you have very little left to help run your household or provide for your family. So we got to keep that cost down. Yes, housing costs can go up, but we can afford to put people in positions where they can be successful through sharing rooms or affordable housing or simply buying a room instead of an entire house. Those are creative ways for us as a community to go about managing the shortage of housing at the moment.
Annually, we give to local organizations who are running programs and making great strides in what we call the social determinants of health. It's incredible the work that they're doing, and we're just really proud to be a part of it.
So we're back, and thank you to our sponsor. This last segment is brought to us again by Pima County Workforce Development, outside agency, helping fund the emergency grant for our Your Healthy Home Market. Thank you. Lydia, I think you have a final question for our guest today.
I sure do. Tony, thank you again for all the information that you've been sharing with us today. Could you speak about how Southern Arizona residents who need Compass Affordable Housing Services can participate in the programs, the process, in their own journey?
Yeah, no, that's good. So let me make reference to Compass in terms of what we articulate constantly. It's building a better tomorrow by creating safe places for human development, right? Building a better tomorrow by creating safe places for human development. And so, with that in mind, what we know is true is that people can enter into a system in a lot of different ways. And so, today's journey for people is twofold. Number one, they can enter into the system through either the county or the city, right? And they enter through the county's entry points, which can be Craycroft Shelter, right? They have a workforce development program that people can enter through. Those are two avenues that people typically enter into that we end up getting a call from the county or a referral from the county in order to place them. The city, right? They enter through the Tucson house. So if they're a reference from the Tucson house, then we end up delivering case management and house cleaning services. For us going forward, they're going to be able to enter through our transitional housing. That means they pick up the phone and they call us, or they send us an email, or they're being referred through one of our partners, which could include Sister Josea's, it could include uh, Gospel Rescue Mission, it could include La Frontera, right? We're working to try to bring these partners together to make referrals to us. It could be a walk up, right? Somebody who walks up and says, "Hey, I need housing." And so that's the beauty of our transitional housing piece is that we're able to extend direct services to people to come right to us and say, "Hey, I'd like to enter into your program." Previously, we couldn't do that because our contracts with the city and county are dependent on their referrals to us. So that expands the volume of people who actually can come to us and the way that they can come to us. Um, the other part of this is that we do have people who send us an email through the website. They'll pick up the phone and call us. Those are all avenues. So let me caveat all that by saying in the next 30 days, we'll be looking to start taking direct referrals from us, from people directly to us. But as it stands now, people have to go through the county through Sullivan Jackson, which the name I kept escaping me was Sullivan Jackson. Carolyn knew that too. So the other one is through Craycroft Shelter and then through the city. And so we're excited. We're really excited for transitional housing to be stood up because we really want to deliver that service to our community.
Oh, that is very exciting news. And what I take away from some of that is not only have you been able to continue to have these ways for the community, for Southern Arizona residents who need your services to participate in certain channels. But now the channels are expanding, so
Yeah,
folks can come to you in many different ways. That
yeah.
means a lot more Southern Arizona residents with the ability to connect with Compass Affordable
Yeah,
Housing.
and I would be remiss if I didn't mention this one particular name, Intermountain, who
Yeah.
is partnering with us on transitional housing. So they're allowing us to rent from them, and we're going to use those facilities, apartment complexes, to deliver programmatic transitional housing. So thank you, Intermountain.
What a wonderful new partnership
Yeah,
and
yeah.
participation. Carolyn, I've learned myself so much more about what Compass Affordable Housing is doing, what Tony and Carolyn, both of you, are doing in community. Very exciting to be able to now share this information out to further ears and eyes to watch and learn.
Thank you guys. I'm so excited for this first podcast. Thank you for all of your hard work. I hope I'm not going to ruin it for you.
Not at all. The
I'm excited for
enthusiasm
the
is very
guests.
palpable.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the guests that you will secure and bring on to engage, inform, and to educate and connect Southern Arizonans. I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
Tony, it was an absolute pleasure. Lydia, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate your co-hosting voice. If you'd like to learn more about the work that Compass Affordable Housing is doing in the human development ecosystem, we invite you to visit our website at www.compassaffordablehousing.org. You can also pick up the phone and call. We look forward to seeing you next Friday, and thank you.